Maura, Lindsay, Robert, we're in Whippany,
Yes.
New Jersey. You guys are homeless, living in a hotel. There's a bunch of you. And you have one kid in the hospital.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
The baby is 3 years old. He has Down syndrome, feeding tube, and an ileostomy bag, which is a different form of a colostomy bag. And for 22 months, he hasn't been able to poop, and they reversed it recently on December 6th. It was very successful, and he's pooping normal now, yay. But he's experiencing a very bad rash, and he's still in the hospital.
That's got to be heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking, but it's like a bittersweet end, because it's been really hard, because we've been homeless. When I moved back to New Jersey, March 10th, 2023, he got sick and went in the hospital March 20th, 2023, and he's been battling these issues ever since.
Wow.
And I never thought I'd cry over poop. You know, parents take for granted your kid, pooping and making a big diapery mess, but trust me, it's nothing as heartbreaking as colostomies.
Well, tell me about homelessness. Now, you have 2 rooms,
Yes.
not connected.
No, not
In fact, one's in a different building.
Yes, it would be too much like right.
Too much like right. You said that before.
Yes,
it would make too much sense
common
to
sense
have
isn't common.
a homeless family together. I mean, how many of you are currently living in these 2 rooms?
6.
6 of you in 2 rooms.
In 2 rooms.
And there's no real cooking. TV's broke.
Yep.
There's cockroaches up on the wall.
Yes.
Fun place.
Mold in the walls in the rooms too.
Yeah. How long have you been here?
We've been here, our first stay here was October 1st, 2023 to December 19th, 2023, when a home was found for us in a different county in Orange, New Jersey. But the Morris County Social Service Board moved us into the home after Essex County denied a transfer, and there was no certificate of habitability or occupancy, so we ended up coming back here they put us back in this hotel and said, sorry, we caused your homelessness. And we've been in this particular room and the other room since April 11th, 12th, 2024.
What does it feel like?
It's dehumanizing, because inmates don't live like this. It's very dehumanizing. Inmates don't have roaches that crawl on them while they sleep.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, they crawl on us while we sleep. The reason why we don't really cook in the room, because we used to cook all the time, is because the amount of roaches that come out. Robert's room is nowhere near as bad as my room. The city has come out, the town has come out. They've given the hotel owners thousands of dollars worth of fines for all the violations. But then the state steps in and takes those $1,000 worth of fines and bumps them down to $300 and just keeps passing this place along, because there's nowhere else to place
Right. It's part of the homeless services, I'm doing air quotes, system, right? Support system. I mean, it's better than being in a tent or in your car.
Exactly.
But it's still, oh my gosh.
It's still,
and it becomes a trap. You're stuck here.
Yes. A lot of prepared foods are bought, that are microwavable. We live off paper plates, plasticware.
Do you have a refrigerator here?
Yes. We have a big refrigerator. We actually have 2 big fridges.
Good. So you're able to keep food.
Yes, we are able to keep food.
Most homeless families in hotels don't even have a fridge.
Actually,
or it's a mini fridge.
That's what they started us out with. But when a resident moves out, and if they have a big fridge,
Okay.
I snatched him up.
He
there you go.
I needed it for my family.
Yeah.
He needed it for his family. This is the only hotel actually in the area, or motel, whatever it's called, that you don't have to move every 21 days.
Yes, that is an issue. I mean, this is my first time interviewing homeless families in New Jersey, but it is an issue in many states.
Yes, the reason why they have the 21-day rule, which at some places now are 18 days, is because thanks to COVID, if you've stayed 30 days and you received a piece of mail, they have to take you to landlord-tenant court. So most places are like, screw that. Yeah. And then they make you move constantly, which unfortunately we can't move like that because of having a disabled child and a young, kids in school. The children need stability, and I know it's a crappy stability, but at least it's a roof over the head.
And you said employment's tough because you're taking care of disabled children, and Robert's disabled. So how are you surviving?
Well, I was receiving child support, but then my ex lost his job. So I no longer received the child support, so I had to go back to TANF. And I receive SSI. And then out of that, we have a co-payment of $510 to the hotel, and then what's left out of that gets the car insurance paid. Now we have a storage unit bill paid because Morris County OTA caused my homelessness. They bought us beds when we got a home last year. Well, they're sitting in a storage unit now, and and what's going to happen is that if we lose the beds, and let's say I find a home in February, we're going to have no beds, and they're going to be like, well, we're not going to help you with beds because we already bought you beds. That's not our fault that you lost the bed. So starting in January, I got the 146 for the storage unit on top of the 510. And then my son, he turned on internet for us at the new place in Orange. And he's in college and he has great credit. And FiOS won't let us suspend the service anymore. So I have to now pay for service.
For service that you're not using?
Not using.
They won't let you cancel it?
If I cancel it, my son is in debt to them for a couple thousand.
Oh, so it's paying it off in the installment plan.
It's because when we signed up for FiOS home service, they were giving out the free Xbox X, the Amazon gift card.
I get it, yeah. And so, oh my gosh, so you've had a lot of bad things continue to happen.
Oh, yes. Every time I get boisterous, because I ask questions now, considering the fact that I had a failed transfer to not only another county, but a home, and now I'm back to being homeless because people at the local Board of Social Services don't do their due diligence and just pass things along. We're back here now, so I've been very proactive looking for a home. I've kind of given up in Morris County and started looking at different counties, which does cost money. You have to pay $45 an adult to apply for these places. There's also a lot of places requires a realtor fee. They can sit there and tell you all day long that this organization's gonna help you, this organization's gonna help you, but they're not. They just sit there and finger point, smoke screen.
We don't make it easy for people to get help.
No. There's an organization, 211 is the most useless organization that I've ever seen. I've called them 5 times, done 5 assessments.
It's outdated and overwhelmed.
Family Promise out here in Morris County, other family promises don't, in different counties and towns are different, but the one here locally told me they legally don't have to help me because I have a family larger than 5.
Yeah, I've seen that where I work for a family shelter that could help parents with 4 kids, but if you had 5 kids, they couldn't help you.
Yeah.
Or 6 kids.
And I think that's horrible.
So how many sleep in this room?
3.
3 sleep in this room.
Yep. Rob, Eddie, and Jackson.
Right. And then you have the other room where everybody else sleeps.
Which is me, Maura, and my other son, Gabe. Because Maura and Gabe get up for school.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense.
Well, school's important.
Yes. Yes. My son, Eddie, when we transferred, he was a straight A student at the local high school. When we transferred out to Orange, the landlord refused to fill out the paperwork for the children to enroll in school. So I ended up paying Keystone School to homeschool my 15-year-old who was in 8th grade at the time. And my son Eddie, who was 17, was like, I'm really done and over with it. Just let me go to some program and let me get my high school diploma or GED. Yeah. So when we moved back here, that's what he did. And he received his high school diploma this past summer. But because he turned 18, you all right? Because he turned 18 and not in school anymore, the state expects me to make my child homeless. And that's the big giant hamster wheel. There's like, but the more questions I ask, like I went to this.
Somebody's sleepy.
Yeah. The more questions I ask, the worse it gets for us. Like I showed up at a town council meeting here locally. They didn't have a lot of answers for me. They're just as frustrated with the system as everybody else is. And I said, I think that we should get together as leaders, even hotel owners, and go directly to the DFD in Trenton and be like, why are people here for so long? Why aren't there more vouchers? Why isn't there this? Why isn't there that? So I decided to go to a meeting called HSAC.
Yeah.
Where it's all the community leaders within the county that decide all the money. And the next day, DCP&P was at my door with the most disgusting allegations because they looked up and seen he went to prison. So they were looking for excuses on why they don't help us.
Right.
But DCP&P realized very quickly that this is a retaliatory. When they raised my copay, I went to a fair hearing. Every time there's an issue with the county, I go right down there. I talk to the supervisors. I don't let them double talk me. That's why they don't like me.
Well, you're advocating for yourself and for other homeless families.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It's not just me that's going through this in our family. There's hundreds of other families going through this, and for what purpose? There's and the whole issue is, yes, we can build affordable housing, but what happens when you're too poor for affordable housing?
Oh my gosh.
Because we're too poor for affordable housing.
Can you clarify that?
So if I was to pull up the affordable housing website and it would give you the income guidelines,
right.
A studio apartment is like $800-900 a month. That's affordable. You have to at least make $30,000 a year, $30,000 a year. So the families that don't qualify for affordable, that are too poor for affordable, this is the cracks that we're falling into. So they keep telling me change legislation. Okay, you want me to? Bet. So we've gone back and forth. I had a fair hearing on December 12th. The judge told me to go change legislation. He believes I could. I set up a meeting with a Senator Panuccio, on Friday. They contacted the OTA office on Friday. On Monday, I had my meeting with him. And by Tuesday, they said that apparently my case is closing on January 1st. So all benefits will be stopped.
Oh my gosh. So more. Well, you seem positive, even though all this, Oh,
well, you have to be positive. I'm positive at shit. But you still have to smile through.
Okay, let's try this again. Normally everything's unedited, but we had a memory card failure, looks like. So you're going to see one edit in this, and you were talking about being positive.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally positive. I'm positive it's all shit. But what happens is I feel that I know in my soul that I am not the only family that this happens to.
Oh my gosh, this whole hotel is filled with homeless families.
But the level of nonsense that goes on, level of fuckery that goes on up at OTA is ridiculous, but most people just accept the answer and just take it at face value. And they dropped a bunch of stuff in my lap and told me get it done in 24 hours, and I did. And I did. It's all over the Work First program, which Robert has said a million times he'll go to. But we never got anything in the mail. But they could email me about it. But not him.
So, Robert, anything you'd like to say?
I don't know what to say.
You don't know what to say?
No.
You want to talk about how hard it is?
Man, it is hard, man. Because, like, it's all on her. I deal with the physical. I do the feeding, making the meals, and I get more off the bus and the kids off the bus. She puts them on the bus. We work together as a team in a unit, but when it comes to all the paperwork and everything, it falls on Lindsay, and her plate is so full, and she's doing so much for so many people and ourselves. And every time we step forward, we're getting kicked back. Like she said, every time we bring up something or go above their head and talk to somebody of higher power, we get retaliation back on us, backlash on our case, something to do with our case is wrong, when they've had months and months to get it right, and we've been under scrutiny. So why ain't it right now? Why isn't it everything ducks in a row how it's supposed to be when you've been scrutinizing my case this entire time? And now you're finding new discrepancies? That's impossible. Unless you're purposely going out of your way to be retaliatory, or you're just that bad at your job. So I don't know.
It shouldn't be so hard to get help.
Yeah.
It shouldn't, just like with the mental
and good
health.
for you taking care of everything while, she's doing the advocacy, trying to, she
does everything.
Both of it is challenging.
She doesn't get credit enough, but I try to give her credit where credit's due, you know what I mean? Because she is like the rock star in the family. She's what keeps this family going, and just like that. And we're trying, man. It's not like we're just sitting on our ass and not doing, I'm doing everything I can to get my mental right. I'm going to therapists, psychs, doctors. I have to get my health right. I got really bad blood pressure now. I'm on 4 different medications now. It's ridiculous.
And his mental health, he's constantly having to check in for voluntary inpatient.
Yeah. I got threatened with a gun the other day by another resident. While I'm waiting for my daughter to get off the bus, I have to de-escalate the situation. I'm on the phone with 911, recording the call, and I'm getting him to admit that, and I have it on recording. I don't know how they don't file charges on this, but I have it where, I got a gun and I'm going to shoot you. Yeah, I have that on recording. I have you admitting you have a gun and you're going to shoot me.
And this is the environment these hotels are in.
Yeah. I got a bulletproof vest. I'll throw that on. I'm not trying to have that going on.
It's no place for kids.
It's not.
No. I really feel they're destroying America's youth. Yeah. They're really destroying America's youth.
Yeah.
And
so what's the solution? I mean, if you could afford housing with the amount of disability that you get, you would be out of here.
Oh, 100%. As a matter of fact, when I lived in public housing last time, I did receive food stamps, but I didn't sign up for extra benefits because why would I when I can afford my rent? The solution, to be honest, the solution would be that I think that a lot of these agencies like MHA here, they're a joke. They have 2 programs. I see.
Well, you don't have to call them out by name.
Yeah.
There's so much bureaucracy. They don't make it easy.
They lost their vouchers last year. They had rapid rehousing vouchers. And they took them away from them in 2023 because they weren't doing with them.
Right. You could point a finger at every agency, and there's bureaucracy and layers of stupidity that just make
if the Board of Social Services and the DFD really wanted to end the homelessness and things of that nature. I don't understand why the local social service offices, then the county offices, don't possess vouchers for clients to make it like a rapid rehousing, to make it and to give us a voucher that's
right. But rapid rehousing isn't necessarily the fit for everybody, because it does the assumption that you're going to be going back to work and restabilized.
Yes, I think it should be based on a case-by-case basis.
Right, so they need housing outside of, I mean, just get you guys into housing and let you restabilize.
Yes.
But, you know. So.
Yes. So it's there's so much disconnect between the workers and the community.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. The workers, there's not enough workers.
Oh, the staffing issue is getting worse.
Staffing issues, the lack of common sense amongst these workers.
Yeah. We could go on and on.
Yes.
If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
For my family?
For you, your family, for the world?
For the world?
For you, your family?
That everybody would have a nice place to live. It doesn't have to be big and fancy. It could just be a basic home. A home is where you make it. I believe that everybody should have a home and at least stability to food and medical. I think that's a big problem in this country, and I think if we could all just agree to get along and agree to disagree, the world would be a lot better place, and instead of working against us, work for us, because a lot of people get high up and they forget where they came from.
Well, thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Say thank you.
Thank you.